The origin of Pennywise, also known as It, is rooted in cosmic horror and mythology created by Stephen King in his 1986 novel, It.
Hiya, Georgie.
Hi guys, my name is Barry and welcome back to the channel. On the channel, I do discuss Pennywise from time to time. I discuss It from time to time. And people do ask, what is the origins of It? What is the origins of Pennywise? And it is quite hard to explain. After going back to the book and reading it over and over again, there's so many things that you can get from the book that you didn't get before, and I think a lot of it is down to interpretation as well. So I'm going to try my best to give you the origins of It. First of all, what do we know about It? Well, it's not truly a clown. Pennywise is just the preferred form for It itself so that he can reveal himself to the children of Derry. Its true form exists in a higher dimension known as the Macroverse. It's a shape-shifting, ancient cosmic entity whose true essence is incomprehensible to humans. The closest physical manifestation of its real form is described as the Deadlights, a swirling mass of destructive energy that drives humans insane when it's seen directly. But to get to the origins of It, we don't just go back to the 1960s or the 1930s, we have to go back a long time, millions of years. Yep, millions of years. It crashed to Earth millions of years ago, long before humans existed in what would eventually become Derry, Maine. It is older than Earth itself, it's older than the universe as we know it. It remained dormant underground until people settled in the area. Only then it began awakening roughly every 27 years to feed on fear, especially the fear of children. Within the general population of Maine, there is this willful forgetfulness within the adult community, and that's because of their experience of It as children. This was part of It's psychic influence. He could make you forget, not like a magician or anything like that, but he made you think that you're forgetting things because the things that you think you remember, you just want to forget. People would literally just walk away from violence, they'd walk away from disappearances, screams. They would just pretend that these things are just not happening. The first discovery of It wasn't just this coincidence where they're like, oh, well, this is what's happening. It was this gradual realization that there was something deep and dark going on in Derry. It was sort of like this unacknowledged horror, this unacknowledged pattern that's going on that people have started to think about. Obviously, as human beings, we can't go back millions of years to find out what was the first thing that happened when It landed on Earth. We have to go back to the first time that we realised as a human race, as people of Derry, that something was going on. So let's go into the first known incident of It in Derry. The first known incident would be around 1715 to 1716. Now, because the It TV series Welcome to Derry is going to be taking place in a different era, similar to It from 2017 and It from 2019. The dates might change, so although it's 1715 to 16 in Welcome to Derry, they might discuss it, and if they do, they might change it to 1719 or 1746. The reason I'm saying that is because of the every 27 years, and because they've shifted it slightly, then the dates might be a little bit different. According to Mike Hanlon's research, the first outbreak of violence took place in 1715, reserve the dates, and this was just after the town's founding. During this time, an early settlement mysteriously vanished. Every man, woman and child just simply gone. Their belongings remained, their meals were still on the tables, but there was no signs of struggle. This event is referred to as the disappearance of the Derry Township settlers. Nobody knows what happened, but here's what's likely to have happened. It's believed to be the first time It awakened to feed on humans in Derry. There was an eerie silence and a lack of evidence that suggested that the use of psychic manipulation and mass abduction is what It would do, and that's exactly what happens happens here. The townsfolk who came later never fully investigated the disappearance, and this was just accepted and moved on, similar to what happens later on. It's like what I said, even though people might have remembered, something about it just made them forget. It makes them forget of what happens in these horrific moments. It makes them rationalise this violence as something just normal. So over centuries, this just became a part of this town's culture. They would see the violence, they would just accept it and simply move on. Going back to Mike Hanlon, he is the town's librarian. He was part of the Losers Club, and he is the only one who is researching the town of Derry and its violent history. He is the one that discovered the pattern. He is the one that discovered that every 27 years there is this violence, death, and then disaster that sweeps through Derry, always ending in a mass casualty event. He kept all these clippings, newspaper articles, photographs of all the horrifying events that went down 27 years apart. These include the Bradley Gang shootout, the Kitchener Ironworks explosion, the Black Spot nightclub fire, and a string of child disappearances. He realises that there's something unnatural going on and something that connects them all together. Mike was part of the Losers Club, and he and his friends were the only ones to encounter it twice and defeat it twice as well. First, he encountered it in the 1980s, as we see it in Welcome to Derry and the movies, but with the books, he encounters them for the first time in the 1950s. They don't just encounter it in this Pennywise form, they encounter it in all different forms that would strike fear into each individual from the Losers Club. They piece together that it is this supernatural entity that comes every 27 years to feed on the children of Derry. Let's quickly talk about the Black Spot nightclub fire. Now, this takes place in the 1930s from the novel, but it's going to be taking place in 1962, as we will see in Welcome to Derry TV series. This was a racially motivated arson that was influenced by it. It was mostly African American soldiers that went to this Black Spot nightclub, mostly for black people, of course, that they just wanted to wind down at night. Derry, just like many parts of the US at the time, was a segregated area, so all the blacks were in one place and all the whites were in another. There was this white community in Derry called the Legion of the White Decency. They were a hate group that obviously hated black people. They despised the club's popularity, but they also hated the integration of the club as well, because white people went to it and enjoyed themselves. Members of this Legion of White Decency went to the Black Spot one night and set fire to it when there was people still inside. As the fire spread, the exits were blocked and many people were trapped and burned alive. Though some of them escaped, dozens of them died. One of the survivors was Mike Hanlon's father, Will Hanlon. He later shared with Mike that he saw a clown in the flames laughing. If we go back to it and its origins, it reveals itself as Pennywise the dancing clown. That seems to be its preferred look instead of being this Deadlights thing. And we always ask, well, why a clown? Well, there's two main reasons that he uses the clown identity. One is a clown can strike fear into anyone, not just children, but in adults. But also a clown is more approachable to children, especially back in the olden days, in the carnival days. Is an approachable figure that you can go up to a child and have a little bit of fun with, and the children would laugh along. That allows him or it to lure them in more easily. Before it landed on Earth, he did have an opposition, a turtle called Maturine. Maturine was another ancient evil that lived within the universe, probably way before this universe expanded in the way we know it today. Maturine is one of the guardians of the beam, and I'm assuming that Maturine tried to stop it from escaping. While Pennywise, it represents chaos, fear and destruction, Maturine represents order, creation and wisdom. So you could see Maturine as the good to its evil. Let's look at the Deadlights. The Deadlights themselves are the pure essence of it. Its true form that exists outside the normal bounds of space and time. They are described as swirling alien lights that induce madness or death in those who gaze upon them. The human mind can't comprehend the Deadlights, and seeing them often results in insanity or paralysis, as you will see that happens to some of the characters in the movie. I guess if you want to simplify the origin of it, all you can really do to comprehend what it is it was this cosmic being that was evil that was fighting against the good in Maturin, the turtle, and there was possibly a battle going on way before we became a human race, and it escaped and landed on Earth, and it's just been living there for centuries, millions of years I should say, until it just awoken from the people of Derry, and it has to feed, so it feeds on the children and their fear for all these years. So if you ever find yourself walking down the streets of Derry and you accidentally drop something in the sewer, just leave it alone.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone